Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And for those that are new, welcome. Well, here we go again. Supreme Court basically threw out, with their ruling, the documents case in the election fraud and all that stuff. Well, Jack Smith says, you know what? Don't care what the Supreme Court says. I'm going to word it differently. And I'm going to indict him again, which he did. So Jack Smith, who's an illegal special counsel, by the way, has indicted Donald Trump again with 70 days to go until the election. Knowing damn well it'll never come to trial before the election. Just another knife cut in a series of cuts, death by 1,000 cuts. These people are nuts. Now he's just doing this to save his own behind. It's amazing to me. Alleged special counsel tampers with election to show Trump that tampering with elections is wrong. It's true. Remember Jack Smith? He's the Get Trump prosecutor that Florida federal judge Aileen Cannon ruled was unconstitutionally named a special counsel, which he was, rendering his cases against Trump moot. Done. Bye-bye. Here's the guy who thought nothing of getting the FBI to raid a former president's home and go through his wife's underwear drawers and son's room to prove a point that he could get Trump anytime, anywhere. They want to get rid of him, even back then. The Department of Justice has a rule. You don't do raids like this on high-profile politicians or people running for office 60 days before an election, and that was before this year, so it was last year. And when did they raid Mar-a-Lago? Trump wasn't there, of course, and they knew that. 61 days out. That way they fall within their criteria. These people suck so bad. He's a dude who overstepped his role in federal court, that he forced Donald Trump to go to the Supreme Court to relitigate the immunity from prosecution that presidents will forever enjoy. Jack Smith did that. Richard Nixon and the Watergate tapes have nothing on Jack Smith. Supreme Court of the United States brushed Smith away about immunity issues. But now he's back to test yet another one of his legal theories against Trump. Let's see if you can grasp the technical legal theory being propagated by Smith, who goes something like this. I'm willing to interfere in an election to prove Donald Trump that interfering or tampering with an election is wrong. That hypocrisy is totally on brand for Smith. Monday afternoon, 70 days before the 2024 election, Smith filed a superseding indictment to replace his illegal and overboard indictment spiked by the shocked U.S. Supreme Court earlier this year. In his second iteration, instead of naming a member of the U.S. Attorney General's office as co-conspirator in Trump's diabolical effort to overturn a U.S. election, Smith's indictment named Trump's private aides and attorneys as his co-conspirators to overturn an election. Now it's going to cost them tons of money. And the U.S. government, of course, we all know, has unlimited funds. Indeed, Smith is not one to walk away from his leftist mandate to kill the opponent of his party bosses. Oh, no. He's just a special counsel. He's a special counsel named by wingman of the disabled, derelict, and demented President of the United States, Slow Joe. He stands ready to act, and indeed does act, for Z Pade, whose main goal, after all, is to get Donald Trump. Smith wants these bogus charges alleged against Trump before the 24 election because he wants to harm the Republican candidate's chances for president and his political party. This isn't about justice. This is about part of the lawfare conceived, planned for, and now carried out by Democrats from the moment Trump said he'd run for re-election. And there's the list there. There's a nice picture. A kangaroo court with a Banana Republic shirt and tie. It's amazing. Trump was not charged with insurrection because, as all sentient people, even Smith knows, there was no insurrection. Every single person arrested for what happened on January 6th that sat in jail or pled guilty or went to trial, every single one of them, none of them were charged with insurrection. Why? Because it didn't happen. It didn't happen. There was no insurrection. They all would have been charged. You can't speak for the Fed's activities for that day, although many people believe they planned the entire operation. If you doubt, please check my interview with J. Michael Waller. Issuing charges this close to an election is unethical. But when you have ethics gotten in the way of Merrick Garland, Joe Biden, and Smith pulling an underhanded, devious deed, I'll save you that microsecond of thought. The answer is never. They're doing everything they can. Death by 1,000 cuts. And he's still standing. Almost lost his life. And he's still standing. He almost had the side of his head blown off. And it missed by a millisecond. He claims that attempting to talk to his vice president and others about the obvious flaws in the election in 2020 were nefarious, when he should have known his beliefs were bogus. It's clear that leftists hastily, and in some cases illegally, changed election laws in multiple states due to alleged COVID concerns. That's true. Pennsylvania being one, and the Republicans there are so spineless. The results were bespoke, novel, and ad hoc election laws. But these new laws include universal mail-out ballots. There's not a country in Europe or in the Western world that has universal mail-out ballots, to my knowledge. The only state in the U.S. that does that is Oregon. It's incredible. These new laws include universal mail-in ballots, lengthened time to count votes, and extended voting periods. It was a mess. Anyone with a synapse still firing would have questioned the results and how votes were counted, especially in Pennsylvania. Looking at you, Mr. Wonderful Josh Shapiro, who was Attorney General at the time, now he's governor of Pennsylvania, and let this stuff slide. Why? Because he's a Democrat hack. But he's Jewish, which is why Kamala rejected him for VP in favor of pathological liar assistant coach that she chose. On Monday, even Facebook Meta founder Mark Zuckerberg admitted he censored his party's political opponents online at the behest of the Biden-Harris administration. That means he helped tip the election by censoring the Hunter Biden laptop story. I saw a poll taken after the election. People that voted for Biden. 1 in 7 said if they knew about the Hunter Biden laptop, they would not have voted for Biden. Now, they necessarily would have voted for Trump, but they certainly would not have voted for Biden. And there goes the election in Electoral College. It's a survey showed that a significant percent, I just explained, it was 1 out of 7. That's election interference. Where are the charges against Mark Zuckerberg? Mr. Smith, he did more than Donald Trump could have ever hoped for to change the 2020 election outcome. Anyway, the point is here that you and I, Smith, all know that if this case is ever heard, it won't be until after the election, which tells you that Smith should have chosen to hold off handing his indictment until after the election. This timing tells the tale. It says everything. He wanted to interfere with the 2024 election to make the point that Trump's alleged interference in 2020 was wrong. What's the old saying? 2 wrongs don't make a right. Just another cut. Just another. And here's the thing. Why do they do it? Because they can. Because they can. There's no repercussions. There's no repercussions for these guys. None. They can keep doing this and keep doing this and keep doing this. Even Biden, before he was pushed aside by his own people, was talking about something with student loans or something like that. And he says, well, the Supreme Court will shoot it down, I'm sure, that it's unconstitutional, but I'm going to do it anyway, because it will take 6 or 8 months for the court to hear the case, and we get all this done before that. And that's what they do. They think that the legislative branch and the judicial branch are the same. It's amazing to me. Absolutely amazing. I didn't think these guys were that stupid. So here we go now. Now his lawyers and some of his aides are going to have to raise millions to defend themselves. It's out of control. To put the word out, anybody that associates themselves with Donald Trump, politically or legally, we will destroy. So that way, Trump gets to pick people to defend him in court, which is his right. The people he can choose from, the list is very small. It's incredible to me. Why aren't these people in jail? The Russian collusion hoax, the Hunter Biden laptop, the list goes on and on and on and on. And yet, from the polls that I've seen, Kamala Harris and Trump are basically tied. I don't understand. I think 45% of the American people do not see any of the things that the rest of us see, i.e. the truth. There's still people that believe that the Hunter laptop isn't true. They still believe the good people on both sides hoax about Charlottesville. Still. Even Biden said it at the convention. That's why he ran for president, when he made that statement. There's good people on both sides. And he screamed in the mic, and he said it, and he meant it. These people are deluded. I don't know how Trump survived this so far. The guy must be incredibly stress-proof. Give you an idea, after being shot, and the Secret Service was dragging him off the stage and covering him up, he put his fist up in the air saying, fight, fight, fight. This guy's got a serious set of balls, Donald Trump. You know where he was the next morning at 9 a.m.? He was playing golf because he had a golf game scheduled. This guy is bulletproof almost, and I mean that literally. It's amazing. That means they're starting to panic. They must have some internal polling that looks very bad for them. Remember, I think it was Joseph Stalin said, it's not how many votes you get, it's who counts the votes that matter. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.